Oh my God!
That's helping around, yeah.
What if Kelly lets you drink coffee from his Robin's up there going, don't you dare! Don't you drink coffee from that? What is your question, Megan? What's your name? Hattie? That's beautiful! Step to the microphone. Love the microphone. There you go. There you go. Go ahead, what is your question, Steve?
This is going to be a hard one for you.
Oh, really? I'll be the judge of that. Go ahead. Why are being so weird? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I know all you people all the time.
You are right now. Yes.
What's a question you haven't been asked? And what's the answer to the question?
What is a question that I have not been asked? I don't know. Because it's never been asked. Your dad loves you. You know what? I don't know what I don't know. You know what I mean? Every once in a while somebody asks me a question, I'm like, no one's ever asked me that before. I love it. But over the years I've gotten a lot of questions, and I don't know. What's a question that I've not been asked?
How did you enjoy the crab and Shatner?
Holy freaking moly. You know what? That's a good question. How did I enjoy what? Were you there, sweet? Okay, you know what? Last week, you guys, hey, guess what happened? Come here. Guess what?
What?
Last weekend, I had my favorite food with my favorite captain.
Shut up.
Oh. I kid you not. I had steamed blue crab from the Eastern Shore. Oh my God. You guys, it was like, you know what I mean? It was like the Reese's Cups, two great tastes that taste great together. My event manager called me and he said, hey, what was the name of that crab place that we went to a couple of years ago? And as soon as he asked me, I started thinking in my mind, he's going to book a reservation for us to go get crabs, like me and Bill. So I told him, and they booked a private room, and we went last Saturday night, and I sat right beside Bill Shatner. He told me to call him Bill, it's okay. Sat right beside him, and we ate crabs together. And he is awesome. He was ravenous. I mean, we were tearing into those babies like there was no tomorrow. And I mean, he was loving it. In fact, you want to hear the best part? The best part was that some of the other guests were supposed to join us. Brent Spiner and Saul Rubinek and Eddie McClintock from Warehouse 13. We were supposed to have like a little private crab thing. Bill and I went over to the restaurant together in the car. So we got there first. And the guy, as soon as we walked in, they had these like 24 crabs with the old bay all over them, and I was like salivating. And sweet white corn all over the table. And Bill and I just looked at each other like. And the guy that organized it looked at Mr. Shatner and said, Mr. Shatner, shall we wait for Brent and the others? And Bill was like, no, let's get started. And so
never wait for crabs.
These babies. It was really wonderful. But that's a question I haven't been asked. How did I do the crabs last week? Thank you, Maggie. Yes.
Hi. So I have kind of a two-part question. How did you get started in voice acting, and how long did it take for you to make a living in it?
Well, that presupposes that I make a living at it now. I got started about 14 years ago, and quite by accident, you guys, very much by accident. I had been acting ever since I was very young. performing ever since I was very young, but voice acting, I didn't even know what that was. And the funny thing is, I loved certain things when I was little. I loved Speed Racer. I didn't even know that was anime. I just knew that it looked different, it sounded different than the standard Scooby-Doo, Bugs Bunny Roadrunner stuff, and I liked it, but I didn't know it was anime. One day, I was in Houston, Texas, working on a video production with somebody, and the guy said to me, this friend of mine said, "Hey, you've got a lot of acting experience, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You ought to go and audition for this place here in Houston called ADV Films. They buy these animated, Japanese animated programs, and they dub them into English, and they're looking for actors." I thought, wow, that sounds like fun. Now here's an important point I want to make. I didn't say, well, how much does it pay? Because I didn't care. It sounded like really a lot of fun. And it appealed to my love of acting, right? So I went and auditioned and I got cast. And the first role I ever played was Vega in Street Fighter 2. Yes, and so then I thought, you know, that was fun. That was a fun little one-time weird thing, right? And I went back to my life. I wrote music professionally, actually. I wrote music for a lot of ad agencies and television and documentaries and music, stuff like that. I produced records for other people. So music was kind of like my main thing. But then ADV called me a few weeks later and said, "Hey, we have another show. You want to come and do it?" I was like, "Okay." Cool. And then they got another show. And another. And another. And another. And then I got invited to a convention. And I was like, "What? They have conventions for this stuff?" I mean, I know Star Trek conventions. I went to Star Trek conventions dressed as Captain Kirk my whole life, but anime conventions, I had no idea. So I went and to a convention, and I was absolutely blown away. Like, oh my gosh, there's a wall scroll with my character on it. There's a plushie! With my character. You know, there's a pencil board.
Is he really in the
There's
back?
a guy right there. I had no idea this even existed.
Like we're in the front.
So I was working in Houston and doing conventions, and then suddenly I met some people from Funimation in Dallas. I didn't even know there was a Funimation. I didn't even know there was another place that did this stuff. And they said, "Hey, you want to come up and do something with us?" I was like, "Okay." So I went up there and I did Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Spiral and Case Closed. So now I'm working in Houston, I'm working in Dallas, and I'm doing conventions, and suddenly I meet people from Los Angeles. And they're like, "Hey Vic, you want to come do something out in LA?" I'm like, "Okay." And I started doing stuff out in LA. That's where we recorded Vampire Night. And Kakaishi, and I love Kakaishi, I'm sorry, I love Yoshimura. And Bleach, Naruto, Persona, and Soul Calibur. And I keep doing all of this. I'm working in Houston and Dallas and LA, and then I meet some people at a convention from New York. And they're like, "Hey, you want to come do something for us?" I'm like, "Okay." And I went back there and I did, first thing I did was Giant Robo, I think, and then I did Pokemon. And that's how I got started. But you know what? I can't tell that story without having to say something that's from the bottom of my heart. I give God all the credit. Because I'm not being all weird, don't get scared, I'm not trying to get you to join a church or something. I'm just telling you my heart, you guys. You just heard my story, right? And you're probably thinking, wow, what a lucky guy. I mean, he just kind of lucked into this. That's how I feel. These doors opened up, and I just kind of stepped through them. I had no idea where they would lead. I didn't ask how much money I was going to make. I didn't ever have any clue that anime would grow to what it has become now. And I certainly had no clue that I would ever be blessed, and I use that word on purpose, blessed to have the privilege to do something that I love so much. I don't even know how much I get paid, and I can promise you it's not a lot. I can promise you that, thank you, that voice actors will tell you, you don't get paid a lot of money. Unless, of course, you're voicing the lead in the new Pixar film. But apart from that, you don't make a lot of money. But that was never why I did it. I did it because I was so blown away that I got to do something that I love and actually got paid for it. And it wouldn't matter how much I got paid. Because there's no joy greater than doing something that you love, something that you feel like you have a natural gift for, and somebody will actually give you some money to do it so you can pay your bills. It's not about big houses and fancy cars. It's about just paying your bills and living and loving your life because you get to do something that exercises your natural gifts. So I cannot tell that story without giving credit where credit is due, and that is to God. For the privilege to do what I do. Thank you, man. Thank you. I just got the 5-minute mark. You know what? Do you know
All
what
the people start to
I
ask
wish
questions.
that they would give me like a 3-hour Q&A session. This is my favorite time of the event, of the conventions that I go to, is to talk with you guys about, and interact with you about things. And so don't miss tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow we'll continue with what we're talking about right now. And let's take one last question, and then I'm going to be signing at, Sam, what time am I signing today? 1:30? 1:30, so you guys come and see me then, okay? Okay, yes, my dear.
First, I just want to say that my current favorite role for you is Reese. because it is incredibly amusing to listen to you argue with Ken Williams.
I thought you were going to say it's because you like cats.
My question is, I never hear anybody ask about Bleach. Everyone asks about Full Metal and Otakon, which is great, but I want to know your opinion on Ikaku and the 20-something odd roles that you're playing.
I love Ikaku. You know why I love him? Because he doesn't sound like me. You know what the best compliment I ever got related to Bleach was 4 or 5 weeks had gone by when Ikaku had first appeared, whatever episode he starts, and he had been on, they had been on for like 4 or 5 weeks, and I got several emails from people, and he goes, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was you.
I didn't even
That's
know.
not one of the highest compliments that you can pay a voice actor. Because, you know, a lot of us have very recognizable voices. And that can be a blessing, and it can be a curse. You know? I will tell you about another show that was being considered and had a kid, and an arm, a human arm, and literally, and he said, you know what, it's too much like it. We don't want to sound like it. I understand that, you know, makes me sad, I get it. So, you know, it's really always fun when you get to play a character that pushes your voice in a direction that you don't normally talk that way. You know, just yesterday I was in a dinosaur museum in Colorado Springs, and would you believe that a couple of the girls that were behind the desk go, oh my gosh, are you Vic Mignogna? Yeah. I recognize your voice! I love Fumalakaris! And I was so blown away, because you don't expect that, because voice actors, nobody knows who voice actors are, right? There's this anonymity. But certain voice actors have very recognizable voices. So it's always really, really fun when you get to do something in a show, a character that is really off of your natural voice. That's always really fun for me. That was my favorite part of being a character. What's your name, sweetie?
Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa. You guys, I am getting your time is up, wrap it up. So I love you. I will look forward to seeing you all weekend. I'll see you at the autograph sessions. I'll see you at the Q&A